Hi, today we're going to start and work on lesson 10.2, which is about histograms. Now, at a quick glance, you would think a histogram is simply a bar graph, but at a closer look, it's a little bit different. So a histogram is a bar graph that shows the frequency of data values in intervals of the same size. So if you notice down here on the x-axis, you have intervals from 0 to 9 CDs owned by people, 10 to 19 CDs owned, and so on. The height of the bar represents the frequency. Frequency is how many of the values are in that interval. So if I had surveyed students and asked them how many CDs they owned, or maybe I'd actually have to ask your parents because you guys probably don't own CDs not anymore. There were 4 people who owned from 0 to 9 CDs. In the range or the interval of 10 to 19, I had 3 people who said that they owned somewhere between that amount of CDs. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to have you guys actually use Google Sheets to create these histograms. So what you're going to do is this. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to move this out of the way here. If you look, this is what you guys are going to have, and you will see that you will have this. It'll say on the bottom, sample histogram, and you'll have this exact same example that I'm going to show you right now. There is this poster right on the bottom, and what we're going to do is you're going to go up to A1. You're going to click on that cell, and in it, you're going to type the magazine's intervals that you see here. So this is a magazine's, the magazines that were sold. So the first range is 0 to 5. So I'm going to put 0 space dash 5. So that's the interval. And then below it, I'm going to do the next interval, which was 6 space dash space 11. And then my next interval, which is 12 space dash space 17. And my last interval, which is 18 space dash 23. Then beside it, I'm going to put the frequency. How many fell into each of those categories? So from 0 to 5 magazines, that was 3 pieces of data. From 6 to 11, 9 pieces of data, then 8, and then 2. Now that you have all of that inputted strictly from this table here, what you're going to do is you're going to highlight these 2 columns. And you can do one of 2 things. You can go over here on the bar to insert chart and click that, or you can just go here to the insert and click chart. And they always try to be smart and guess what type of chart you're using. We are not making circle graphs because we are making histograms. So I'm going to go over here to where it says chart type, and I'm actually going to select a column chart, which is the best we can do for a histogram. And if you notice, I have my bars, and I have my intervals. I have the numbers over here as well. So there's a couple things I need to do to finish off this histogram. I need to have titles and labels for the different axes. So over here on your customizing area on the far right, you're going to hit customize, and we want to go to the titles, the chart and axis titles. This is going to be all we're going to need to fix, and we'll be done. First thing I have is chart title, and if you click on it, you can actually change any of the titles from this spot. So I'm going to go chart title, and what I want to do is I want to use the title from my frequency table here, which is magazines sold. So I'm just going to type magazines sold, and then you can see it populates up here at the top. Okay, and then I'm going to click over there, and I need to have the horizontal axis, which is here along the X, and all these intervals, if I look back here, are called magazines. So I'm going to type magazines, and then it puts there at the bottom. And the other one I have to do is the vertical axis, which is up and down what these numbers here are representing. And that would be off of my table here. It was frequency. And then it puts it on the label there. I can close that, and I am all done with my chart here. So this is all you're going to have to do. What you guys are going to do, if you notice down here at the bottom, there is number 1, birthdays. And I've given you guys the frequency table. You're going to populate right here in column A and column B. A, you're going to put January through March, April through June, and so on, and then the frequencies. And then you're going to highlight, click insert, click chart, and label them. After you do that one, there's one for you to do for number 2, number 3, and number 4. So it's giving you guys some good practice on how to create these histograms using Google Sheets. Let me know if you have any questions.